With the release of A Quiet Place Day 1, it's time to rank all 3 Quiet Place movies. None of these movies are bad, it's just basically from the best to the very best in this trilogy. Without further ado, let's get started. Quiet Place Part 2 is still a really good follow-up to that first movie. It's almost as good as that first movie. There's just one major problem that I have that doesn't really match what the first movie did. And that one problem is the family dynamic. The family dynamic in this movie is there, but the family is separated for almost the entire movie. In the middle part of the movie, the mom's getting an oxygen tank from their house, the kid's doing something else, and then their daughter's going beyond the sea with this other guy. So you see just the entire family is separated. But I do like how this movie does expand the world, because like I said, they're going beyond the seas, seeing how they get away from these creatures, seeing another one of their weaknesses that they have. It does a really good job at expanding the world that was already created. And I do think the suspense is still in there, and everything that was in the first movie great is still in this movie. It's just that the family is more separated than they were in the first movie. That dynamic is separated. It doesn't help that the dad is also not in here too. A Quiet Place Day 1 is a great add to this trilogy. It does a really good job at seeing what this event looks like on day 1 in the loudest city in the world. What they do is that they have these creative ideas that help them solve certain obstacles of what they come across using this loud city in the world. I also like how this movie connects to the second one as well, with certain plot points that they have in here and characters. And speaking of the characters, the new cast of characters are a great add in this movie. Joseph Quinn and whatever the main girl's name is are both really nice adds to this movie. And this movie also does have that emotional beat. It doesn't really have that family dynamic, but it still has that emotional beat that these two characters were able to create that makes it something at the end of the movie. But of course, number 1 is the original Quiet Place movie. This movie was able to create this world of how silent you have to be to avoid these creatures. And like I've been saying throughout this entire ranking so far, the family dynamic is what holds this movie. It's what makes for that emotional beat at the end of the movie, and is what creates this movie in the first place. Without that family dynamic, the movie is nowhere near as good. Don't forget the suspense in here. The suspense in here is probably the best out of all Quiet Place movies, because it just has that style that if you make a single noise, like playing a board game, you have to play it like on a rug and use like different pieces so it doesn't make a single sound. And just by knocking one thing over, everything's silent and you're just waiting for something, creating a lots of suspense, which this entire movie has throughout it all. Sean did a really good job introducing this world to us and made for a great horror movie, which is why it's number 1 on this list. But with that was my ranking of all 3 Quiet Place movies. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked this video, maybe these ones on the side range you too, like and subscribe, and see you guys next time. Goodbye.